This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Now, as I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware, there's been plenty of ex-fighters, boxers in the past who have retired from the sport, whether it be through natural retirement because they've reached the end of the road, or through medical injuries, all that kind of thing. And the sport doesn't really look after these people, so whatever money that they've earned throughout their boxing career is pretty much what they have, as in there's no fund after that coming from the British Boxing Board of Control or any kind of organisation to look after ex-fighters. So Audley Harrison has asked a question to everybody here, so go over to Twitter and have a vote if you like. I'm not too sure if this is going to do any kind of good or what, but Audley Harrison says this: who thinks boxing promoters and television networks should donate back 3% from their events for an independent boxers fund that is managed to help support fighters with medical, educational or basic needs? Once careers are over, there is no help. It's a tax write-off anyway. So that's Audley Harrison's statement. I clicked yes. I think that, first of all, it's a tax write-off, as he says. I mean, it's 3% anyway, so why not? Okay, but as much as I am for it, because there are too many fighters, or ex-fighters even, who got ripped off by managers, got ripped off by promoters, or whatever the case may be. Now, I know each case has its own merit. Plenty of boxers out there, for example, like Riddick Bowe. He's earned millions upon millions upon millions. And he waxed it, a lot of it. Same with Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson. I know there's some other circumstances as well. Promoters, managers not looking after them properly, not investing their money properly, or just not giving them the money. Okay, in some cases. But listen, for me, I think if any fighter has earned over £1 million or $1 million in their fighting career, in other words, they've kind of reached the pinnacle, then they should take matters into their own hands. Okay, so if you've been earning millions as a fighter and then go onto a GoFundMe afterwards a few years later because you've waxed your money because you've been irresponsible, then don't ask the public for a penny. And no, they shouldn't be allowed to dip in as well to any kind of fund that has been set up by Audley Harrison or whatever else it may be, because they've had their money, and if they've chose to wax it, then they've chose to wax it, because we don't get a chance to do that kind of thing. We don't get a chance to appeal to people's nature. But when the average working person who struggles from week to week, month to month, whatever it may be, or even if you're just comfortable and one day your job just gets cut and then you're out on the street as such, right? There's nowhere for people to go other than the same place a boxer can go, to the dole queue or whatever it may be. So as much as I do agree with it, because there are, you know what, there has been a lot of fighters who have spent their career going right the way through and they haven't earned too much money. And they have been ripped off. And especially those who get hurt in the ring and they have to retire due to medical issues as well, there should certainly be something. But if you're a millionaire, no. If you waxed your money, hard luck. Really, hard luck. You chose to be irresponsible. I mean, it's common knowledge that your career is a very short career. So make sure that you have enough money to live on and be careful with it. Budget. You know, most people have a wife, a partner, or people around them that can advise them. And if you're choosing to leave all your money within a promoter or a manager to give you little bits here and there, then that's your own stupidity. There ain't no way. I mean, if I was a fighter and I knew I was going to be getting, say, X amount per fight, or for my next fight, then I expect X amount right after that fight. And then I will give my manager, my promoter, a cut, and my trainer, and so on and so on and so on, out of it. In other words, I would do it. I would not let anybody manage my bank account, because I earned that money, right? So therefore, you give me the money, and then I would divide it up into whoever gets whatever, and then I'll keep the rest. So if you're choosing to not do that and put your trust into a complete stranger or sometimes a family member, then that's on you. That's the truth of it. But yeah, I think 3% to go towards, especially those with medical conditions where they get brain damage in the ring, to help out the family in that, of course, or especially if a fighter dies as well in the ring, their family needs looking after, and something like this would certainly help. But I don't think those who are former millionaires, and I am talking like a Riddick Bowe, okay, and an Evander Holyfield, and plenty of other high profile ones who have just waxed their money. If they've gone through a divorce, oh well, most people do. So listen, you shouldn't be looking at the government or the public for handouts, because people have already paid their tickets to come see you. They've already paid the pay-per-views and bought your merchandise. Why are you asking for more money? If you waxed it, you waxed it. It's as simple as that. So yeah, I do think that if a fighter reaches a certain pinnacle and earns a certain threshold, then no, they shouldn't be entitled to dip into this pot, because all this does is it encourages fighters to just wax their money and live large, rather than having to save, because they know they're going to have this to fall back on. But certainly those who are broke when they retire because they didn't earn enough money, I mean, listen, if you're not good enough, then maybe you should kind of quit and think about something else, really. I mean, if you're on like a bit of a losing streak, and if you're only earning a couple of £100 for a fight, yes, you know, you should probably be working as well as, or improving your skill set, doing something. And I know it's a bit harsh at times, but ultimately for me, certainly for those who have medical conditions and get retired from the sport rather than retire off their own back, certainly there should be some kind of fund. And I'm surprised that there's not already. I really am. But you know what, they shouldn't be looking towards ex-fighters for handouts or fans to look for handouts. But yeah, I think 3%, as it's a tax write-off anyway, as Audley Harrison says, why not? But anyway, you know, that's just my opinion. I'm not an expert on all this, of course not. You guys, some of you guys will be far more knowledgeable about the goings on behind closed doors than what I will, whereas a lot of these so-called millionaires do get scammed. But ultimately, if you allow yourself to get scammed, listen, everybody can. But anyway, that's my thoughts. You drop me yours, and of course, go over to Twitter and go to Audley Harrison MBE, and you know which one it is. He's got the blue tick next to him. And yeah, take a vote, and let's see what Audley Harrison can do with it there on after. Now, I don't think Audley Harrison is doing this because he's broke. I think he's invested his money quite well. So I think he's doing this for other fighters. So yeah, anyway, drop your thoughts below about it, click that thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all in the next video.